You know, people always say that data is cold, that numbers are just impersonal. But today, we're going to prove that wrong. We're diving into a data detective story, looking at a bunch of simple, weekly reports from an animal shelter to find the very human heartbeat hidden inside all those rows and columns.
So, let's get right into it. Can a spreadsheet really tell a story? I mean, can a collection of PDFs actually reveal something about community and growth and compassion? Well, that's exactly the question we're digging into today as we piece together the story of a volunteer army that's all in for animals in need.
In this is what we're working with, our primary evidence. At first glance, yeah, it's a lot. It's a pretty dense table from one of those weekly reports, just jam-packed with categories and numbers. It might look like just another boring ledger, but trust me, this is where our story kicks off. This is the puzzle we're about to solve together.
Okay, so first things first, let's figure out how this puzzle is even put together. Because you have to remember, behind every single number on these reports, there's a real person manually piecing it all together week in and week out.
Yeah, this isn't some slick, automated dashboard. It's a really careful, hands-on process. The person writing this report has to open last week's file, make a copy, update all the year-to-date numbers, and then literally go through physical sign-in sheets to count every person and every hour. It's a real labor of love before we even get to the volunteers themselves.
So, why? Why go through all that trouble? Why track every single hour so meticulously? Well, to answer that, we've got to zoom out from how they do it and look at why they do it, the official mission that's driving this whole entire effort. It turns out the volunteer program is built on 4 really clear goals. Number 1, no surprise, is animal welfare and adoption. But it's also about finding cost-effective ways to do outreach, supporting the shelter's day-to-day operations, and, this is really important, building community connections, what they call social capital, which helps more animals find their forever homes.
So, does the data actually reflect the mission? Oh, absolutely. Look at this. A massive 84% of all volunteer hours go directly into what's called animal care and enrichment. We're talking walking dogs, playing with cats, making toys, all the hands-on stuff that directly improves an animal's life at the shelter. The numbers don't lie. Their top priority is crystal clear.
All right, so we know the why. Now let's get to the who. Who are these people showing up every single week? It's time to meet this army of helpers.
By just early November, the shelter had already gotten 138 brand new volunteers through the door to complete their very first shift. That is a huge wave of new energy and extra hands to care for the animals. But where did they all come from?
And here's a huge clue, tucked away in a separate document. A big chunk of those new faces comes from a partnership with Young Harris College. Their student athletes have to complete community service hours. So you see, it's not just random people showing up. It's a really smart, structured partnership that creates this powerful pipeline of support.
And you can see this whole ecosystem in action every single week. Take this one busy week in late September. You've got it all. 15 dedicated returning volunteers, 10 people doing their very first shift, 6 more in orientation, plus board members and other folks doing community service. That's 41 different people showing up to help in just 7 days. It's amazing. And hey, it's not all about walking dogs and cleaning kennels, as important as that is. The shelter also gets these incredible donations of highly specific skills. This little note from a report points out that the skilled labor for the week was a volunteer doing graphic design for a huge adoption event. In other reports, you see notes about professional photographers and social media experts, all talented people donating their time.
So all these individual efforts, all these different skills, they really start to add up. Let's zoom out one last time and just look at the incredible growth of this program in only 6 months.
The growth here is just staggering. In the middle of May, the program had logged just over 340 volunteer hours. By mid-July, that had almost tripled. 2 months later, it doubled again. And by early November, over 2,600 hours of donated time. And that's not just a number on a page. That represents thousands of extra dog walks, socialization sessions, and clean kennels that directly give an animal a better shot at getting adopted.
And that incredible growth isn't just coming from the same people working more hours. No, the interest from the community itself is growing too. The number of new applications to become a volunteer more than doubled in that same 6-month window, jumping from 55 in May all the way to 115 by November. The word is getting out, and that growing interest is the fuel for all this incredible impact.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture. We've seen the impressive numbers. But for me, the most powerful parts of this whole story are found where you least expect them,
in the little notes jotted down in the margins of these reports. This is where the data gets a real personality.
How great is this? I mean, here's the person writing the report, trying to make all the numbers add up, and just admitting, with a sense of humor, that things are messy. It's this small, totally human moment that reminds you there's a real person behind that keyboard trying to make sense of it all.
This note just perfectly captures that whole community idea we talked about. It's not just random individuals, it's families getting involved together. You can just picture it, right? A mother and son learning the ropes and sharing that experience on their very first day.
I love this one. It's another perfect example of how real life doesn't always fit neatly into a spreadsheet. How do you count that? Is it one new volunteer, or is it two? The answer is yes. It's just a charming little detail that captures the reality behind all the data entry.
And finally, these notes capture the sheer variety of tasks that go into helping an animal get adopted. It's so much more than cleaning cages. It's someone taking the time to write a compelling bio for a dog named Buster. It's hours spent grooming. It's a professional photo shoot. And it's an experienced volunteer like Melanie mentoring the newcomers. Every single one of these actions is a critical step on an animal's journey to a forever home.
So we started out by asking what story a spreadsheet could tell. It turns out it can tell a really powerful story, one about mission, community, and incredible growth. It shows us how hundreds of individual actions, all tracked in these simple tables, can combine to create this massive force for good. And that just leaves us with one final thought. If this is the human story we found hidden in the data, just imagine the stories of hope and new beginnings waiting to be told by the animals themselves.